Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter. I've been welcoming you to another Degrassi video. I know that I talked about Degrassi's 20-year anniversary with me reading off the plot of Mother and Child Reunion, which started the whole next gen thing after a hiatus of around 9 years of the Degrassi universe. But it was pointed out to me in the Degrassi Reddit that the AV Club, avclub.com, did a thing about the cast, and a lot of others of Next Generation talked about its moments and all that. In the early 2000s, teen TV was at its height. From Gossip Girl to the OC, viewers became enamored with characters who navigated high school and socialite milieu. At the same time, another series emerged that stripped away the glossiness of such shows and confronted real-life taboo issues on a regular basis. Degrassi Next Gen. The teen drama, which premiered October 14, 2001 on CTV. Yay, they actually give credit to the Canadian networks. Chronicled the everyday lives of the preteen and teen students of Degrassi Community School, which were created by Jan Moore and Laura Schuyler. Degrassi Next Gen was a reboot of the 1989 Degrassi High series, which Schuyler did with Kid Hood, who is deceased now. That meant some of the main characters of the new series were the kids of Degrassi High's alumni. The Canadian series ran for 14 seasons before it concluded. The latest iteration, Next Class, aired from 2016 to 2019. Well, 14 seasons for Degrassi, and then Next Class was kind of a reboot. Anyway, the authenticity and boundary-pushing storylines of Degrassi Next Gen resonated beyond its Canadian borders. It seemed like no topic was left untouched. And LGBTQ plus issues, abortion, school shootings, sex, mental health, rape, revenge porn, drugs, teen pregnancy, and many more. And the show's tagline was "It Goes There." There's a lot of melodrama. So, in honor of the 20th anniversary of the first episode, we spoke to the cast and crew of the show. And Degrassi could have been cast differently. Marco, a.k.a. Adamo Ruggiero, said, "I went into audition for Craig. Didn't get that. Then they called me back. I was auditioning for this character, but his name wasn't Marco at the time. I ended up getting that role. And the story that was told me after the fact was I wasn't right for Craig, but they were looking for a gay male character." Mike Lobo, who played Jay, said that the casting was super untraditional for me. I went in for the role of Dylan, which was a different character than Jay, and I did a callback. And then they booked me for Jay, which was weird. I thought it was so off the mark that they saw me as an inverse character, but I got it. Shane Kipple, a.k.a. Spinner, said, "The writers and producers at that point were looking for the actor to appear and solidify the look of a role in their mind. And then when I walked in the door, they said, Spinner, we got him." Linda Schuyler said that one of the characters was Jake Goldspeed. We didn't have a character for him, but we created a brother for Ashley, which would be Toby Isaacs. All that. So, anyway, Miriam McDonald, who was Emma, said she only ever auditioned for Emma, and the audition process took a year. I had no idea even who Spike was. So there was some naivete to my performance. So let's see here. Another thing the AV Club talked about in their thing was playing Marco prompted Adam Ruggiero, I don't know how to pronounce his name, to come out. And Marco, Marco says, "I was a closeted gay boy, and my life went from 0 to 100. I really hadn't acted that much. Suddenly I was a character that was playing to all my deepest, darkest secrets. And I don't know about coming out and all that." And Ruggiero said he came out after Marco came out on the show. So it was just amazing. All that. So, yeah, it was a huge thing. They said the season 3 episode Accidents Happen Part 2, in which Manny gets abortion, was contraband for American teens. I betcha. So Degrassi was instrumental in paving the way for that reform. But, of course, the writers knew that there would be a problem for the American Standards and Practices team. And of course, Miriam said because Emma was the result of teen pregnancy, she was very much anti-abortion. Her perspective was that if her mother had gone through with making the choice not to have the child, Emma wouldn't be here. All that. So it was amazing. There was a lot of things. The writers said, we were hearing stories that if you had a friend in Canada, they'd tape it for you and send it to you. Kids on the playground were passing the tape around because if you were really into Degrassi, this was terms of the art. They even said that You Got the Look, in which Manny arrives to school wearing fog, was inspired by the way Cassie Steele was growing up, as in, Manny. Cassie was blossoming, was expressing her sexuality, not really creepy, but picked up. So, girls sometimes fall into one of two camps. They're the good girl, aka Emma, or the bad girl, that being Manny. Yeah. So, it was a blue rhinestone thong. It was weird. So, of course, there was the famous school shooting time storyline that I've been doing tons of videos for called Time Stand Still that left Jimmy paralyzed from the waist down. And Aubrey Graham, aka Drake, didn't want Jimmy to be in a wheelchair. Stephen Stone, the executive producer, said, we wanted to tell the story in a balanced way. We flew up Barbara Coloroso, who was from Littleton, Colorado, and helped with the Columbine tragedy. Her main focus was on the bystanders. She felt that the guilty party in Columbine was the school administration and the entire atmosphere that allowed the bullying lack of respect to go on. We tried to incorporate them into the 2 episodes. And one guy created Rick, saying that if you create a character, you get character royalty. So if you bring him back, you get extra money. So Rick was coming back to the school. And Brandon York, the writer, said, we wanted to show how bullying in particular can create the conditions where it becomes a recourse for someone who's a victim. We tried to do it in a way that showed you where everyone was coming from in the terms of who were the victims and who were the bullies, and that the bullies became the victims. But it was brave and all that. It was really intense and all that with gun violence. Spinner, aka Shane Kippel, said, we had all these police cars and officers and quasi-soldiers walking around with semi-automatic machine guns. They were all props in a parking lot walking around the hallways at school. It was very chilling. And Emma, a.k.a. Miriam, said, they needed to have a gun wrangler to show everyone that it's not loaded, it's not real. It was weird. And a lot of people actually said that Aubrey struggled being in the wheelchair and all that. And Shane Kippel said, there's the apprehension of having your character confined to a wheelchair, or even not really feeling like it's right to be portraying someone who's in a wheelchair if you're fully able. But Aubrey had to deal with it. And Lauren Collins, a.k.a. Paige, said, I don't want to speak for anyone, but I think Aubrey probably struggled with the idea that he was one of 2 black characters on the show, and that he was the one who was shot in a wheelchair, which was a much larger conversation. And all that. So, anyway. So, it was weird. And they even said that Kevin Smith was supposed to direct the Degrassi Goes to Hollywood movie, the season 8 finale. Kevin Smith had a crush on Caitlin and wanted to direct, so, it was huge, all that. So, and of course, Emma gets in trouble with Secret and performs oral sex on Jay at the Ravine, and she gets a bracelet in exchange for it. Strange as it sounds, Mary McDonald and Mike Lobo laughed about every single part of it, right down to the bracelets. It was comical and affair. And Lobo, aka Jay, said there's a societal worry at the time about how laissez-faire young students in high school were about having oral sex. So it was a hot button issue. All that. The bracelets were being handed out in schools around North America, and parents were worried. And all that. And then a lot of cast members are flummoxed with the Degrassi Takes Manhattan plotline that Spinner and Emma get married. All that. It didn't make sense, and they should not have gotten married and all that. A lot of people said Sean and Emma should have been together down the line, but no. A lot of people talk about music and a lot of legacies and all that. So the legacy was kind of huge. And you gotta be appropriate with it. So that's a little bit of a tidbit about someone doing something about the 25th anniversary of Degrassi Next Gen. Better than me, that's for sure. Anyway, I dropped time and thanks for watching.